Howdy folks, TechTexN here, bringing you Life is Feudal, and today we're going to go over a few things that are a little bit scatterbrained, but we're going to start off by forging a weapon. So we're going to go to our smelting here, and I'm going to add some billets just to keep the light on. And we're going to go to forge weapons. Now, I don't have leather yet because I haven't done any tanning racks or anything like that, so we're just going to skip to some of the weapons that doesn't require any... Ooh, I need a hardwood bullet. Get that back. Get that back. You know what? Actually, I got some on the barrel here. Let's take one out of there. But we don't have any leather, so we're just going to have to use something that requires ingots and requires just some hardwood billets, so it makes it a piece of cake. So we've got a lot of options as far as weapons go, but that's because I've upped the skill on my forging, which, you know, I have accelerated, so typically you wouldn't be able to have access to this stuff so quickly, but I'm just speeding things up. I'm going to make a morning star. I think those look pretty cool. Alright, that's all I can make. And there I have it. I have a morning star. I don't even think I can equip it yet because I really don't have that ability. Yeah, I need a minimum of 0 piercing mastery skill to equip it. Now, piercing skill... Oh, let's see. That might be under... Spear, unarmed combat, poleaxe... Shield, ace and mace, or axe and mace, sorry. Piercing, oh wow, so it's going to be a while before I can use this weapon. So there's kind of no point in me having it, but it's pretty simple to make some of the weapons through that method. However, eventually what you want to do is start off with simple weapons. Maybe we'll just put that away. By just grabbing sticks. Actually, I'm not even sure if we even need a stick. Yes, we do need a stick. Let's snap off a branch here. I want the archery anyway. I prefer archery. I can kill from a distance, but you still need melee skills up, whether you're using fists or weapons, whatever your choice is. Alright, so what I want to make here is a sling. And the sling only needs a branch, but it needs 10 plant fibers, so... Let's see, I don't recall if I have any more plant fiber. I think I used it all up, so I'm going to have to sit here and grind at it to get some. Oh, I have 2 to start. And let's go ahead and just sit here and gather some plant fiber. Yes, you're going to have to endure watching this just a little bit. So while we're here today, we're going to discuss a couple other scatterbrain things. We're going to go over a little bit more on the farming, because some of the farming and understanding it can be a little difficult sometimes. The chicken coop as well. Got some chickens. We also want to go over reinforcing the mine. I never really went into detail on that. Okay, I currently have 7. Let's go ahead and get a few more. But first we need to make our sling. Now the sling's not going to do much. If you're being attacked by a bear, don't expect the sling to save you. It's best just to run away. Okay, good. We have 10 plant fiber. Let's go ahead and make our sling. Alright, so now we got our sling. Oh, where'd it go? There it is. Kind of hard to see. Alright, now we have our sling, but unfortunately we don't have any sling ammunition, so we have to get some from a pile of rocks. Or on a rocky mountainside, either or. And you do that under prospecting. You search for sling ammo. It's just under the flintstone. So let's search for some sling ammo. Now careful, this can easily eat up your weight. limit that you have in your inventory. So just now I picked up 10 sling ammo, and you'll notice that this stack takes up 2.5 weight. We'll go ahead and get some more. I would say grab about 30 or 40 for starters. Probably won't kill anything with that many shots, or maybe around that many shots. Now I'm not going to go attack an animal yet because I don't feel I have the weapons ready enough for it. But just for the sakes of demonstrating the combat mechanics for this game, we're going to go ahead and equip our sling. And you also got to equip your sling ammo. So there you have it, sling and sling ammo. Now you'll notice in your hotbar, most likely if you left it default, you have a few weapon choices. These are not attack moves, but rather selecting which weapon you're going to draw from. So I'm going to select from my right waist slot, which I believe is where my sling is. Oh, I'm sorry, it's on the left waist slot. So first thing you have to do is you have to go into combat ready mode. So hit your R button and he goes into combat mode. You'll notice the music changes and the stance changes. You'll see that there's little arrows as I move around. What this does is this kind of prepares you for different types of attacks. So if you see a right arrow as you move to the right, it's going to attack right. If you move to the left, it'll attack left. So there's a left punch. Move to the right, there's a right punch. Moving up is an uppercut. Moving down, you swing down. Now those are just punches, so I'm going to use my hotbar and I'm going to select my sling. Now it goes into first person view for these ranged weapons, but I'm going to go back to third person. And you'll see the animation of the sling is not the greatest. I mean, it sticks out like, I don't know, you just fill in the blank. So you hold down your left click key to kind of spin up your sling, but you'll notice the crosshairs continue to grow outward and becomes less and less accurate as you speed up your sling. So if I try to throw this, it can go far left or far right or totally way off. Actually, that one went fairly quick. It had a bit of an arc to it. And you typically want to release as soon as that sling is about to swing forward. So timing of your sling is important. So if I'm off on my timing, it's going to throw it all out of whack. Actually, I take that back. It looks like they've corrected it since the last time I've used the sling. Because there was a time where this sling was hardly accurate at all. And you get a pretty good distance out of it. So that's pretty much all that's involved at the moment for your combat. The combat mechanics do get more complicated. So if you go to your skill screen and you move to your combat page, you have multiple branches here. Now the one we're obviously working on is throwing weaponry. Now I'm going to have to use this against some animals if I plan on leveling this up. But you have other abilities. You have the militia service. You have the padded armors, of course. You got equipment maintenance, blades mastery, the two-handed blades mastery, and of course warhorse handling. So we'll have to find some horses on the island to tame. The war horses, last I checked, was not fully working yet, so they're still trying to work in getting that straightened out. Once they do, then it'll definitely be awesome. Demolition, I have not really tinkered with this just yet, but we'll hopefully get to it so we can mess with sapper charges and trebuchets. And of course, battle survival, so basically in the battlefield healing abilities. Not to be confused with the regular town healer. So you'll have punching, you'll have piercing, you'll have to upgrade your shield mastery if you plan on using shields. Two-handed axes, you got two-handed blunt. And eventually you can unlock abilities that you can add to your hotbar, such as war cries, which I don't think I'm going to be unlocking anytime soon. So make sure you read through all these skills. For example, the 100 trick move under piercing mastery. It shows I have it, but I really don't. I don't have enough skill. So make sure you read through all these different skills to see what special abilities that you can get, so you can get an idea of what you want to put in your hotbar. Alright, so I'm going to leave the combat mode. I think that's enough combat for now. I'll have to level that up probably off screen. Who knows, I might throw a little bit of hunting in here in the next video or two. Now we need to know how to reinforce the mine. It's been a while since we've been to the mine, but somebody's got to be in charge of it, and we're going to have to deal with it sooner or later. Because if you open up your mine and you let it go without really maintaining it, the mine can collapse. So we don't want our mine to collapse, so we need to reinforce it with some boards. And even then, you got to keep an eye on it after a while. So here we have an opening, and to the right side wall, and it doesn't have to be right, it might be the left, so you pick the wall that's most suitable, and you go to terraforming, and you have the ability to reinforce tunnel. Now that ability depends on your skills. Oops. I did not mean to do that. So make sure your terraforming skill is up so you can harden the mine walls by supporting with beams. Since I'm level 100 terraforming, my beams are going to be more durable. So I'm going to go ahead and reinforce my tunnel. And that required 4 boards, 4 hardwood boards. And there you see I reinforced the mine. I don't have to worry about it collapsing anytime soon. And I can move freely. Now eventually you're going to be opening up larger areas of your mine, possibly having cross sections or just a large open area. In which case you're going to need construction logs to use as an entire column beam rather than just 4 boards along the side of the wall. Instead, the logs will go in the middle of the square as opposed to the boards going into the corners of the square. So now that the mine is reinforced, I don't have to worry about it collapsing anytime soon. Now we're going to jump back to farming. So again, using my GM skills, that's not really the best way to put it. Using my GM cheats, I started growing some flax. Now the actual growth time takes multiple days probably in this game, so it's going to take a long while for your stuff to grow. So you definitely want to plant your stuff as soon as possible. Just do some plowing with your shovel, try to get some good land, plant your crops and get them going. So while you're working on everything else, the time will pass. And I left the furnace on. Now I've sped up the growth process, but we still need to sow it. So I had planted a bunch of flax. And this is what the flax looks like once it's ready to be sowed. Or excuse me, once it's ready to be harvested. So we're going to harvest. And you'll need a sickle to do this. So make sure you have your sickle ready. Now notice something. The ground did change color. This is because the ground is no longer fertile. So it almost becomes like sand. If I were to dig this up with my shovel, you'll see that the dirt has become just soil. It is no longer fertile soil. There's a way to fix this issue because you can't plant your plants on fertile soil, or unfertile soil. Granted, you could plow and attempt, but you're not going to grow anything. So this is when the chicken coop comes in handy, and later on your stables. Now that I have some chickens in my coop, the dungometer is going to go up. You can only clean if it's 20% or higher, so I can't really clean it out right now. However, I already got some waiting in a barrel for me that I kept stored up. Or so I thought. I seem to have used it up already. Well, shoot. I doubt it's going to let me clean this. At 5%, I'm pretty sure it's 15 or 20%. Yeah, it's not going to let me clean that out. So, I have no dung to fertilize my land, unfortunately. I'll be right back. Well, no, I think I'll stick around. Okay, so in short, all you have to do is right-click, go to your farming, and fertilize your unfertilized soil. Fertilizing your soil is also going to improve the quality of your crop. So over time, you're going to collect plenty of dung. So I recommend having more than one chicken coop. Having about 3 or 4 will be plenty for a decent sized farm like this. Eventually you're going to grow into a larger one, so you'll probably have a lot more chicken coops in the end. Same thing with the hare. And just like that, we can harvest crops and do some farming. Now the crop rotations you have to really pay attention to. And it's very easy to forget. If you miss your crop rotation, your crops are going to fade away. So make sure you catch your crops in time. So if you plan on harvesting your crops the following day and you find out you can't make it on your server, then your crops are probably going to be gone. And all your hard work will be gone as well. So make sure you have a buddy system to help out with that. Have your buddies. Oh, looks like I've already filled that up. Have your buddies help you with your crops. So I'm stocking up on flax, but I can't really do anything with it yet, because eventually we're going to have to use a tanning tub, among some other things, to make our rope. And the rope is really the key thing that we want to make eventually. Because rope is going to be key for making our plow. Plowing that land is going to be a lot more easy with a plow rather than a shovel. So we definitely want that. So now that I've shown you how to reinforce your mine, do a little bit of farming, and make some weapons, you're definitely going to be well on your way to building a nice decent town. Now one more thing before I leave is something that I forgot to mention in a previous video. When it comes to planting apple and mulberry trees, it's not affected by your forestry, so to speak. Granted, you can gather the sprouts and things like that, but your farming is actually the level that affects whether or not you can plant your apple and mulberry trees. So you need to get your farming up to level 60 before you can start planting those. Otherwise, you'll probably be eating a lot of taproot or running around all over the island looking for these apples. So you probably don't want to do too much of cutting down apple trees in the beginning. But once you get leveled up and you start building your own apple farms, then you're good to go. I believe this can conclude this particular video for the time being. There'll be a lot more to learn. I'm also going to show a little bit of hunting skills, such as tracking an animal. First I need to set up a little bit of weaponry for that. and there's also going to be some more construction on down the road, because right now all I have is one pitiful road with a few structures along with my hut and a big pile of iron ore. So hopefully we can get this place looking a little better down the road. However, for now, y'all come back now, you hear? Bye.